time for get him the fuck out of here. And I've reached that point. With Rhea Bloody Ripley. Get her the fuck out of here. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. I tried to get into it. This whole face turn. But again, it's just like there's a point where the retconning and the fucking gaslighting that they're doing with this storytelling gets to a point of like, okay, I could suspend disbelief to, all right, if I suspend disbelief, I'm a fucking retard. And I refuse to do that because that means they're insulting my intelligence. Again, this is the week in Raw, and I said it before. I'll just reiterate: Triple H's bad booking and bad storytelling only lasts, or it takes a couple weeks before you realize it's bad, and it's. This week is that week where I think his storytelling finally caught up with him. Where it's like, oh shit, this is starting to fall apart. It's starting to crumble. And in a couple of these storylines, you're going to see that same pattern. And this is one of them. This whole thing of Rhea Ripley coming out pretending that she's some kind of fucking babyface in this whole storyline is getting past the point that I could endure it. There's a point where she comes out, and Wade Barrett says there's a certain glow that's returned to Rhea. Again, she more retconning in this fucking storyline where it's like, when did Rhea ever fucking glow to begin with? She's gothic, for Christ's sakes. Like, what are we talking about? Again, last week we saw Rey Mysterio comes out and basically is trying to convince his son that he was better off with Rhea Ripley, the woman that tore his fucking family apart. This whole episode was a gaslighting of, if you watched the beginning of this storyline, or if you've been following this storyline from the beginning, they're making you a fucking idiot for remembering anything. This whole thing too of the Jey Uso, where it's like Jey Uso now is acting like he's like, you know, in love with Rhea, or they had some kind of like real feelings for each other. And now that Dom is out of the way, he and her can actually flirt and be together. And it's like, in storyline, from what I remember, is that Rhea Ripley was kind of using Jey Uso to make Dom jealous and to sort of like get him to do things like, and I think a lot of times were against Jey Uso. Again, show me or tell me in the comments, what redeeming qualities does Rhea Ripley have in this storyline that makes her the babyface? Again, she hasn't shown any remorse for her past behavior. She used everybody that was around her because she was a heel. That was what she was supposed to do. She was a user. She treated her friends like shit. She treated her boyfriends like garbage. She was flirting and still is flirting with a married man. And it's okay for you to say that because they have acknowledged that Jey Uso is married to Naomi on TV. Again, but if you remember that, you're a fucking idiot. Triple H books for goddamn retards and goldfish. She's not the babyface in this. This whole thing is a giant fucking gaslight. Now, if Rhea Ripley went around and said, hey, listen, Ray, you know, I'm sorry for what I did. I got caught up in the moment. Something Something for then Ray can go, I see Rhea, you're not as bad as I thought. It's actually Dom that was the problem. That would be good storytelling. That would be better storytelling. Like something of like where, okay, now Ray coming out and saying that to Dom would have made sense. Even acknowledging to Jay, and they have this whole thing where they haven't shown them actually like have too many interactions, Jay and Rhea on camera. It's more of this like, insinuated thing, kind of a lot of innuendo going on. But yeah, I just don't I don't feel it. I really don't feel it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get the crowd. And I well, actually what I do think it is what I talk about all the time. It's the ideological divide that's going on in the world. And wrestling has not escaped that. The whole thing with this ideological divide, really the crux of the entire thing. And it comes down like politics is part of it. That's where it's really like affecting us most, I would think. But at least these days it is. But I think it comes down to just like, your everyday life. And that's what entertainment is supposed to sort of like reflect or actually capture something that relates to you. And really what should relate to all of us is that there's good and there's evil. And those lines, the gray that is, with the in between those lines has just been sort of expanded more and more and more to the point where it's like, who the fuck knows what good and evil even is, even when it comes down to just wrestling. Like, that's the point of it, is there's good versus evil. It's supposed to be very, it's supposed to be black and white. And that could be partially because of the Attitude Era added the gray area. But I think the gray area in the Attitude Era was very narrow. It was still quite narrow. We still understood, like, at least the motivations of somebody doing something bad, or they at least gave us something to like be able to go, all right, well, turnabout is fair play or something. Or it's like Austin was a very gray area guy. Probably one of the biggest gray area baby faces ever. Where the point was like he could literally just snap on anybody and you didn't know who. He could stun a baby face and still get cheered. So with Austin, the good evil thing was kind of blurred, but there was still a thing that we knew what Austin was. We knew what he sort of stood for. We knew what he would take and not take. So maybe for him the lines were blurred, but we at least appreciated that he understood there's good and evil. You know what I mean? In his character, obviously. But I think that ideological divide has just been, wedged. And again, the gray area has just been widened. And I think it's also because I guess you can't these days. They see that as a baby face. A woman basically dominating and treating her boyfriend like garbage, and then he finally stands up and says, "Get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna get a new broad." They'll look at that as the evil thing because he's a evil man. And women can do no wrong. So yeah, I think there's a lot of that kind of involved in this whole thing, and that's why I don't get it, because I'm more of a traditional old school person when it comes to especially when it comes to relationships with women. And these new fucking feminists and bitch ass soy boys who are writing this horse shit. And let's be honest, Triple H is a bitch ass soy boy. He's not some dude that stands up to his wife. Are you kidding me? His wife is the whole reason he's in the position that he's in. So of course he's a bitch when it comes to women. Yeah. So that's where I think all of that is coming from. And here's another thing, because they had the whole match with the Judgment Day. Judgment Day loses again. You know, they had where the Jey Uso teams up with fucking Damian Priest to take on the Judgment Day. And, you know, again, the Judgment Day gets treated like total fucking scrubs. Like, you know, they can win something. They're getting slapped the fuck around. It's like, you know, what I'm realizing is they're all starting to act like Dominic. Cowardly, running away, bumbling fucking fools. Now I get it, there was an element to all of them, you know, having that, but they're amping it up where they're just idiots. They're idiots. They had this big new like reveal of the new Judgment Day, and it's like, this did nothing. It's kind of reminding me of that Batman movie where every villain started acting like the Joker. Where like Two-Face and fucking the Riddler would just be laughing maniacally for no reason and jumping around. And it's like, you're not the Joker. Stop. That's kind of how I feel. They're all acting like Dominic. They're all acting like bitches. Dominic should at least have like, for instance, Finn Balor. Why is he acting like a bitch? I get JD McDonough. But yeah, it's just they're really I don't see why there's even any more matches between the Judgment Day and Rhea and Damian. It's been like they just been getting slapped the fuck around. Okay. Well, that's how I feel about this whole Rhea Ripley thing. I'm done with her. I'm done with her and her fake horseshit. Oh, here. I'll give you an example. Oh, wait. Hold on. Give me a second. This happened after Raw. Oh, wait. There's no sound. Well, sound is coming from here. Jesus. Give me a second. Let me see if I can fix this. La-di-da. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ugh. Oh, the cringe. The cringe. Fucking enough. Enough of the fake horseshit.